If you fall into that category that we described as active, not exercising, then you might be somebody who gets about, walks around the shops, does their chores at home, but isn't actually physically taking part in anything that might be called exercise, not really pushing yourself that little extra bit. So what could you do? And there's lots of different things again that you might want to think about. So walking is a really good form of exercise. And what you might want to do is think about regularly going for a walk, and start with a walk that you can manage. It varies from person to person. It might be a walk around the block. It might be a walk to the first lamppost on your street. Once you can walk that distance comfortably, then the next time you're going to go out for a walk, go a little bit further, go to the next lamppost, go around the long block, go to a tree further along the road, or to the next bench in the park. And gradually, over a few weeks or a couple of months, build up the distance that you're walking. Try and walk regularly through the week. Don't tell yourself you're going to go every day, because nobody ever does that. But if you promise yourself that you'll do it more days than you don't do it, so 4, 5, 6 days, then that's probably a commitment that you can keep and you can feel that you're doing something about. A really good way of tracking how active you're being and whether you're doing a bit more is to use a step counter. So there are devices like a Fitbit or something that you can wear on your wrist, and you can get those quite cheaply. Or most smartphones nowadays have a step counter on them, and if you're carrying it in your pocket or in your bag, then it'll count the number of steps that you're doing over the course of the day. Don't in any way worry about how many steps you're doing to start with. You'll see targets that say you should be doing 10,000 steps, and that doesn't apply to you at all. What you need to do is just measure how many steps you do on average over each day for a couple of weeks, and that's your baseline. Don't change anything, just start at that point. And if your baseline measurement is, say, 2,000 steps, then once you've got that, over the next week, try and see if you can increase that by maybe 5%. Add in another little bit. Once you're regularly meeting that higher target in your step count, can you increase it by 5% again? And then after a couple of weeks, can you increase it by a further 5%? So that slowly, bit by bit, you're increasing the number of steps that you're doing each day. And before you know it, you'll have got from 2,000 to 3,000 and on and on. And it can make a real difference, even though it feels like a very small and manageable change. So you can walk more, you can track your steps. And the other thing that would be a really good idea for you to do is to try and get involved in a pulmonary rehabilitation class.